Creative nonfiction is a concentration that covers things like memoir, writing essays, also things that are a little bit more emerging or experimental in ways to talk about how can you create something that reaches people? How do you make the mundane interesting? What are some of the ethical concerns you have when writing nonfiction in terms of quoting people, recounting things that you may not remember 100%, or synthesizing individuals into singular characters in your creative nonfiction?
Our concentration in fiction represents students who are writing short stories or novels or maybe flash fiction. Or maybe you come into the program and you already have a novel that's well underway that you want to finish and make sure that it's the most amazing novel that you can read or that you can write. Or you come in, you think that you're writing short stories and you decide, hey, I want to try a novel, you know? Or you come in writing a novel and you discover, maybe I want to try flash fiction. We are open to all kinds of fiction, whether you're writing literary fiction or experimental fiction. Maybe you're writing some kind of speculative fiction. We have faculty members who are writing all these different kinds of subgenres of fiction, and so we welcome all of those kinds of fiction writers to the table.
When it comes down to our comics and graphic narratives concentration, this is our newest concentration in the program, and it focuses a lot on understanding what happens when you marry the text and the words. You know, what are the functions of the panels? What does panel size tell people about the pacing of the story? What are some of the ways that you can leverage art more to say what the dialogue and narration doesn't need to say so you can visually show it?
So our concentration in poetry welcomes students from all kinds of backgrounds, and they're all bringing their unique work to the table. We don't want students to come away from the Solstice program writing the Solstice poem, right? We want to give you the tools you need to write your poem, the best poem that you can write. So while we're all focusing on the craft tools that poets need, anywhere from line breaks to how to write that opening line that's going to hook your reader, to how to close a poem that makes the reader want to go back into the top of that poem and read it all over again. We're all bringing our different backgrounds and experiences to the table, and we're supporting each other around that table as fellow poets.
The Writing for Young People concentration focuses on middle grade and young adult, but also picture books. You know, we have some focus in picture books for students who very much want to talk to the youngest of our young readers. And that again encompasses things like, okay, what is the rhythm of the story? You know, for a picture book, how are we reaching a young mind where they need a little bit of music to what they're reading? But also, how do we tackle things like difficult subjects when we get to middle grade and young adult fiction?